It is Friday, January 12th. I am pleased to welcome, and I'd like to say thank you for joining us, to Ashante Gholar. She is the Political Director of Emerge America. She's joining us via Skype. Hello, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. So excited to be back. Thank you, Molly.
Yes, so we're pleased to welcome you back. You were in Rhode Island just a couple of months ago, so we're pleased to have you back on the program once again, this time via Skype.
Yes.
So, just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the increasing number of women running for politics today, and Emerge's role in helping women run for office. So, just to fill people in, the mission of Emerge in America is to increase the number of the Democratic women leaders from diverse backgrounds in public office, and the organization has been around since 2005. So, Ashanti, you've been involved in politics for some time. Prior to Emerge, you served in many roles at the national level, including serving as political appointee in the Obama administration. So let's talk a little bit today about the dramatic number that we've seen, an increase in number of women running for office on multiple scales. You know, we're talking from the municipal level all the way up to the gubernatorial level. Talk to me
Yeah.
about what you've seen over the past year.
So over the past year, one of the things that I tell people is everyone's saying, there's this huge wave of women running for office. But the fact is, this is not a wave. This is absolutely, without a doubt, a movement. Since the 2016 election at Emerge, we've had a huge increase of women wanting to reach out and run for office. Several of our affiliates had to double their class sizes. We just selected women for our 2018 classes, and those classes are full because women know that our voices need to be at the table. If anything that the Trump administration has shown us is that, democracy is fragile. We definitely have seen a huge turn of how our country is run, how our country is viewed globally. And we know that we as the people, we have to stand up and tell people that this is not who we are. And particularly these policies, they're hurting families, they're hurting communities. And women know it's like our thing is like we want to protect people, we want to make things better. And a way to do that is to run for elected office. 2017 was a great year for women running. I tell people that there's 520,000 elected offices in this country. Men constitute about 75% of them. But now they constitute a lot less, especially after the last election, because you had women running for school board, state house, city council, and this trend is continuing in 2018. So one of the things that we are going to see is women stepping up, stepping out, and basically saying that we need to have our voices heard to make sure that we get our country back on the right track.
And like you said, we're seeing more and more women step up and step out. And in fact, there's numbers to count on this. There's ample research that shows more women are running for office. According to the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers University, according to a poll that they did in December, more than double the number of women were running for Congress than at that time in 2015. What is it like for you to see this? Speaking from behalf on your work, you've been involved in politics for a long time here.
It's really amazing, particularly for me, to see women run for Congress since my first, real job in politics was working for Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley in Nevada. And at Emerge, in 2017, we did regional boot camps because we had this huge demand of women wanting to run for office. But so many of those women were running for Congress, and they were women from diverse backgrounds. They were women from the South. They were women from the Northeast. So we definitely are seeing that women know that the state and local level is important too. But if we do want to stop this gridlock in Congress, we do need to have more women running. And I love to see the support that current women members of Congress are giving to all of these women who want to run for office, who want to join them in Congress. And just overall across the board, I do think it's going to be a trend that we will continue to see. Right now, women constitute less than 25% of Congress. So this, again, is another area where we need women to put their name on the ballot, and also having other women support them.
Exactly. You talked just a moment ago about how Emerge has become increasingly popular, the programs that you do and the work that you do, mentioning that you had to expand your classrooms and expand your class size. Talk to me just a little bit more about what the numbers have been like in your classrooms and a little bit more about Emerge's programming in the past year or so.
Yeah, so we started off in 2002 just with Emerge California, and it was an idea that our president and founder, Andrea Dusteele, had. She just said, I want to recruit and train Democratic women to run for office. And her idea was extremely popular. Emerge America was created in 2005 because women from other states wanted to replicate our program. And our program is super unique. It is focusing on the early recruitment of women to run for office. They say you have to ask a woman 7 times to run for office before she considers it. If it's a woman of color, you have to double or triple that. Is doing an intensive 70-hour training program, because the fact is running for office is hard. Like, we will admit that. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So for us, it's demystifying the process of running for office, but you get to do it in a cohort of like-minded women who have the same goals as you, who have the same ambitions as you, who frankly have the same problems as you. It is a safe space to say, look, my husband's acting crazy about this. What do I do? And the other one is say, my husband's acting crazy too. And then another one is say, my husband was acting crazy, but I did this, so he's not acting crazy anymore. Because we also have those concerns that we need to get out. But the best thing that I think about our network is the ongoing support that we give our women. Once they are done with that program, they are connected to the women in their cohort, the women in previous cohorts. They have an executive director, a board of directors, and women all across the country who are rooting for them to run for office and to win. And at Emerge America, we provide them with additional connections and support to organizations that want to donate to women and their campaigns, to organizations that want to endorse women. And as we mentioned earlier, it's making sure that we have that focus on all levels of office. Other organizations, they will probably just focus on doing federal level, but we know that we need women's representation all across the board. To date, we have over 3,000 alums. It's constantly growing. Again, if we want to have a reflective democracy, that includes women, but that is women from diverse backgrounds. And that's what I love about our network is you actually see women in our network who look like America, who are going to be representing their communities. And, I have several colleagues traveling this weekend because several of the affiliates are starting their first day of training for the year. Everyone is so pumped up. And I've just been looking at these women's photos and reading their bios, and it just honestly fills my soul to know that there are so many women out there who are going to be putting themselves out in the public, out in that limelight, taking time away from their jobs, their families, because they want to make sure that their communities, that this country is a much better place. And just in this day and age, I always tell people I am beyond grateful that I get to wake up every day and do this work. It is what sustains me, it's what keeps me going, and it's just such a fabulous time right now to emerge.
That's exciting news. You mentioned briefly a little bit about your alum and the success that the alum has been having. We saw success by women in Virginia, success of Emerge alumna. Talk to me just a little bit about your success there and how you know the program worked.
So all of our alums, like overall, women who do the Emerge program, we have a 70% win rate. And we are very excited about that. And, coming off of 2016, going into 2017, all eyes pretty much were on Virginia and New Jersey. And I tell people that after the 2016 election, I no longer see blue states, I no longer see red states. All I see is opportunity. There's opportunity to pick up seats. And we knew that in Virginia, that would be the case. You had so many districts that were being represented by a Republican man, but Hillary Clinton won that district by 5 points or more. That told me that the people in that district, they would vote for a Democrat and they would vote for a woman. So for me, I was like, I need that Republican guy to go. and I'm going to get us a nice Democratic woman. And that is what happened. 9 of those targeted seats, they were flipped by Emerge Virginia alums,
Wow.
and they were all men. So we actually have a graphic that I love so much. It shows all of the seats that were flipped by Emerge Virginia alums, and it's literally men all going to women.
Wow.
But with these wins, they're also historic wins. You have Danica Rome, who is the first open transgender legislator in this country. She's one of our women. You have Hala Ayala and you have Elizabeth Guzman. They're the first Latinas in the Virginia State House. You have Kathy Tran, who is one of the first Asian American women in the Virginia State House. So even in this day and age, these women, they're not only winning, but they're trailblazers, and they're opening the door for other women. And it's funny, we joke now that in several of our states where we have so many of our alums in elected office positions, such as Nevada, Oregon, Maine, Virginia, we actually have the Emerge Caucus, because we have so many of our alums together and they're able to support each other, not only just as another elected official, but also just personally as well. They have those bonds, they have those connections.
Do you think in a time now that seems to be, we could say every day there's always something turbulent happening, and sometimes you feel a bit hopeless. Is it times like these where you see the success of Virginia that keeps people going, that keeps people interested in running for office, or keeps people motivated to push for more?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Obviously, yesterday with this administration, with this president, we had probably one of the most vile just things that he has said, and it definitely shook a lot of people to their core. While we know he was playing to his base to see this, it energized people. And they're just no longer just focusing on, okay, every 4 years we have this president. They know that there are elections that happen every year in this country. And we just constantly see women reaching out saying, I want to run for office, or I know a woman who wants to run for office. I actually love when we see husbands and sons who reach out and are like, will you talk to my wife, my mother, my daughter about running for office? I like to tell the story of after the election in 2017, I was in a Lyft on the way to an event. My Lyft driver, he goes, did you follow that Virginia election? I was kind of like, maybe, because I didn't know where this was going. All I know, this could be like a 5-star rating or a 1-star rating. One of those. But I was like, maybe. And he said, did you see all of those women that won in Virginia? He said, that's amazing. He's like, women are such great elected officials. And he's like, and my daughter saw that. And that's going to mean a lot to her. So overall, even though times are hard right now, we do have to look for that inspiration. And at Emerge, it's January 2018, and we're going to have 258 women on the ballot. And that is going to go up. There'll probably be 300 women running this year, which will be the highest number that we have had in an election year. So even though times are tough, there are still so many great things to look forward to, and it is finding those great candidates and making sure that we're supporting them.
Oh, that's a powerful thing, and I'm sure that Lyft driver ended up getting 5 stars after that.
He got a five stars and a nice little note.
That's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about this. Emerge founded in Alabama in 2017. I'm curious to see if you had more women from diverse backgrounds either interested in politics or contacting or reaching out to you after the highly popularized Doug Jones special election in December.
Yes, absolutely. So we're very excited because a huge part of our expansion at Emerge America has been in the South. When I came on as political director, I was very honest that this was going to be a huge focus for me. The fact is, Democrats, we have made a huge mistake on giving up on the South, and I was not going to let Emerge America make those same mistakes. I think Doug Jones' victory has shown that when you do have really great qualified candidates, Democrats can win. And the fact is, there are Democratic women in the South who want to run for office. The fact is, they just need the tools, the resources, and support. And that's why we have Emerge Alabama, Emerge Kentucky, Emerge Virginia, Emerge South Carolina, Emerge Louisiana. I really can't wait until we have the entire South green, on the Emerge map. but there was definitely a huge increase of women wanting to run. But we saw that huge increase, particularly with African American women, because when you do look at the numbers, it really was African American women, and African American men too, that put Doug Jones over the top. Something that I say all the time to Black women is we are the base of the Democratic Party. That is great, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of tired of us constantly voting for everyone else. Why isn't our name on the ballot? We should be voting for ourselves. And that is a trend that we're seeing as well. In 2016 and 2017, we saw more African American women elected to office. And I'm very excited about that. Also in the South, we see lots of Latina women who are running for office as well. So I'm very excited. And, even though she isn't one of our alums, I'm going to give a shout out to, Paulette Jordan, who is a Native American woman who is running for governor. So we are seeing the women from diverse backgrounds stepping up and putting their name on the ballot.
And just like you said, you want to see people on the ballot, people representing us that look like us, right? It's a great statistic to have. Let's talk a little bit about this before we let you go, because I know you're a busy woman. I want to ask you, has anything surprised you about working at Emerge over the course of the past year, whether it's the women that have stepped up, where they're from, or what they want to represent?
I think one of the things that I love the most and that I've seen over the past year is the number of young women who are stepping up to run for office, and they're not waiting to be asked. I love that so much. And I think that is going to contribute to this movement, because they're just not waiting for that person to, send them a text message or, hit them up on Twitter saying, hey, I think you should run. They already know that this is something that they want to do. So we're already seeing this next generation of women who want to run for office. And it's something that, totally surprised me. I technically a millennial. I disagree with the ages for millennials, but that's a different conversation. But to see them, at 21, 22, 23, just having such strong convictions and getting out there and running a campaign, I think that's one of the greatest things that I've seen in 2017.
That's amazing. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. Ashanti Gholar with Emerge America. She's the political director. If you want more information, Rhode Island has an affiliate, so they're working on getting that up and running. So you can, I'll put a link on our website for that. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Wonderful conversation as always.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Please hang tight here on Go Local Live as we get set up for our next guest.